Richard Gere is the most amazing leading man in the great play of love. Despite being 74 years old, he defies all expectations and falls in love with a lady who is 33 years younger. Feel your heart racing as you immerse yourself in Richard Gere's singular romance, where passion and second chances rule supreme. Richard discovers his calling early on. Even as a child, you must understand Richard's personality type in order to successfully navigate the perilous seas of his romantic interests. Richard's journey culminated in Syracuse, New York, even though his story began in Philadelphia on August 31st, 1949. Being raised in a Methodist household taught him the value of family and religion, which he utilized to guide his life. Young Richard was interested in more than just literary endeavors. He was naturally charming and had a talent for sports, especially gymnastics. His ability to play the trumpet added to his already considerable attractiveness. Throughout high school, these skills made him stand out. After graduating from North Syracuse Central High School in 1967, Richard received a gymnastics scholarship to the University of Massachusetts Amherst. He started studying philosophy here, but he quickly came to the conclusion that he wanted to take a different route. He ultimately made the decision to follow his passion, the theater, after 2 years of deliberation. He threw himself into acting, taking advantage of the chance to join the Provincetown Playhouse on Cape Cod in 1969 and the Seattle Repertory Theater the following year. Here, he was able to improve his skills and learn valuable life lessons. His first notable performance was in the play Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, which served as a demonstration of his skills. This stage accomplishment led to the opening of other doors in the film industry. Richard made his cinematic debut with a small role in Report to the Commissioner, released in 1975. This paved the way for Richard's career in entertainment, and he was about to embark on an exciting journey. The actor becomes an icon. Richard's career peaked in 1973 when he starred in the London stage adaptation of Grease. This was a turning point in his early career. In 1979, he achieved even more fame when he played a gay Holocaust survivor in the Broadway production of Bent. He won a Theatre World Award for this performance, which demonstrated his ability to relate to complicated and nuanced characters. In the middle of the 1970s, Richard's Hollywood ventures persisted. He was initially cast in The Lords of Flatbush, but following a disagreement with Sylvester Stallone, he was replaced. Richard's resilience allowed him to overcome this challenge. His breakthrough came with the release of Looking for Mr. Goodbar in 1977. Terrence Malick gave him a lot of acclaim for his performance in Days of Heaven in 1978. In the 1970s, Richard was clearly making a name for himself as a staple performer. But in the 1980s, Richard's luck changed. Following his role in the landmark movie American Gigolo, he rose to international fame. In the next 10 years, a series of remarkable performances took place. Richard's intelligence and tenacity were always apparent, no matter what obstacles he encountered. Richard made a victorious comeback in 1990 on the set of Internal Affairs and the romantic comedy Pretty Woman. One intriguing aspect of Pretty Woman is that it earned him another Golden Globe nomination and solidified his status as a major star in Hollywood. The actor seemed to have finally achieved his dream of becoming a Hollywood star. Richard enjoyed a series of prosperous years in the 1990s after that. He starred with Julia Roberts in Runaway Bride, and he later starred in Primal Fear, Somersby, and several more highly regarded movies. He demonstrated his adaptability by playing a significant role in the action thriller The Jackal, which required him to learn an Irish accent. Richard's fame skyrocketed when he was crowned People magazine's Sexiest Man Alive in the late 1990s. His career peaked when he starred in the musical Chicago. In addition to winning an Oscar, the film earned Richard his first Golden Globe. He was charming and memorable as the dapper barrister Billy Flynn. He was formerly a leading guy in Hollywood as a result. Richard then starred in Shall We Dance, a critically praised and financially successful ballroom dancing drama that brought in over $170 million worldwide. However, Richard's endeavors weren't always profitable. What was most remarkable about him was his extraordinary fortitude in the face of hardship. His steadfast dedication to his profession demonstrated his competence and tenacity, which were the main factors in his long-term success. Richard's challenging path to stardom. After all, Richard was on a winning streak, so it seemed like the only way was up, until he appeared in the movie B Season. Despite being based on a popular novel, this film was a box office failure. In spite of this setback, Richard continued to take on new jobs. In The Hunting Party, a gripping thriller set in Bosnia, he co-starred with Jesse Eisenberg and Terrence Howard. He appeared in Todd Haynes' groundbreaking semi-biopic on Bob Dylan, I'm Not There, shortly after. In this film, which featured Richard, the ensemble cast included Christian Bale, Heath Ledger, and Cate Blanchett, who each played different aspects of the iconic musician's life. In 2008, Richard and Diane Lane co-starred in the film Nights in Rodanthe. Despite receiving negative reviews and being among the worst movies of the year, on time, the film generated over $84 million worldwide. The fact that Nights in Rodanthe is the only recent picture that Richard has produced that was distributed by a major studio makes it intriguing. It's interesting that Richard attributed his exit from major studio productions to China and his outspoken political stance. He saw this as a sign that his reputation in Hollywood had become worse. Richard accepted this change and turned his focus to independent films, which has resulted in some of his best reviews to date. The role he played in the tense movie Arbitrage as industrialist Robert Miller earned Richard his 4th Golden Globe nomination. Reviewers praised his performance, including Rolling Stone's Peter Travers. But the accolades didn't stop there. In 2012, Richard received 2 distinguished honors: the Golden Starfish Award for Lifetime Achievement from the Hamptons International Film Festival and the Career Achievement Award from the Hollywood Film Awards. He received recognition for his filmmaking talents at the 34th Cairo International Film Festival in December 2012. Following a series of outstanding roles, Richard changed roles in Joseph Ceder's political thriller, Norman, where he played Jewish fixer Norman Oppenheimer, whose life takes a terrible turn. Throughout his acting career, the actor has received several honors, but his talents were not limited to performing. Richard has also given a lot of musical performances. He composed the iconic piano theme for Pretty Woman and performed it himself. He also has a standout guitar solo in Runaway Bride, Taekwondo for his role as the stylish Billy Flynn in Chicago, and karate for his classic performance in An Officer and a Gentleman. His dedication to his performance was evident. Many critics and news outlets agree that he is one of the greatest performers who was passed up for an Academy Award. Richard's rise to fame brought attention to both his personal and professional life. His many romantic relationships immediately brought him prominence. Richard was described as a real charmer. Richard's actual life was full of unexpected twists, much like the dramatic narratives of his films. Intense passion and wild riding characterized his romantic relationships in the 1970s. Actress Penelope Milford and him had a brief and mostly surface-level romance. Richard then made connections with well-known individuals like Barbra Streisand and Priscilla Presley as he was negotiating the turbulent rivers of love. There were allegations that he was having an affair because of his purported association with Presley's ex-boyfriend Michael Edwards. At the time, Ron Snyder, Kim Basinger's ex-husband, also said that Basinger and Richard had cheated on one another. Amid the flurry of romance in Hollywood, Richard was enthralled with Cindy Crawford, one of the most iconic names in fashion. This was the start of a famous love affair for the actor. The renowned photographer Herb Ritts arranged a fantastic barbecue in 1988, which is when they first met. Cindy was a 22-year-old model who was just beginning to develop, and she was enthralled by Richard's presence. Despite being 17 years apart in age, their relationship grew into something spectacular. Richard and Cindy's romance developed among the glitzy red carpets and photographers. Every move they made was greeted by a rapturous audience. They married in a spontaneous ceremony in Las Vegas in 1991, which was a bold move. However, their burgeoning affection soon waned. Despite the early warmth and general interest, their relationship had its ups and downs and ended in divorce. Richard's marriage grew complicated. For Richard, Cindy was more than simply a business partner. She stood for a fresh start, unencumbered by the tumultuous relationships of his past. Cindy often said that she learned a lot from Richard, especially about navigating the difficulties of celebrity. In a 2013 appearance on Oprah's Masterclass podcast, Cindy reflected on her relationship with Richard and spoke about how he influenced her ideas on setting personal boundaries and handling public scrutiny. Cindy claims that one of the main reasons they broke up was their age gap. She focused on the age divide and other disparities in life experiences to draw attention to the challenges they faced in the podcast. She was honest about being 22 when they first met and 25 when they were married. This occurred when she was still on her journey of self-discovery.
Cindy emphasized that rather than finding their own identity, young people often alter who they are in order to meet the expectations of their relationships. She thanked Richard for his guidance and accepted that they had grown apart even though he had taught her how to deal with the media. In 1995, Cindy and Richard's happy 4-year marriage came to an end. As Cindy subsequently said, it was decided upon by both parties. Her early career was greatly influenced by Richard, and she was appreciative of his advice as she handled the limelight. When Richard and Cindy broke up, he kept looking for real love. A couple of years after their breakup, he found solace in Gere Lowell's embrace. The possibility of a fulfilling, long-term connection made this a pivotal moment in his life. Despite his controversial past, Richard remained optimistic about finding genuine love and enduring friendship. After Cindy, Richard found solace in actress Gere Lowell. Soon after they first met in 1996, they fell in love. Homer James Jigme Gere, their son, was born in 2000. After they became close very rapidly, they dated for some time before getting married in 2002. Over the course of their 10 years of blissful marriage, Richard and Gere developed a strong bond with their son and a love for starting a family. However, after 11 years of marriage, they decided to divorce. Even though their split marked a turning point in Richard's life, he continued to hope that true love would find a way into the future. For Richard, the process of falling in love again happened instantly. 10 years after his split from Gere, he made a new start with Spanish publicist Alejandra Silva. Richard was revitalized by Alejandra, who was 33 years his younger. Despite their different ages, their relationship became stronger. In 2018, they exchanged vows in a little ceremony, and in February 2019, they welcomed a child called Alexander into the world. In April 2020, Richard's family grew with the arrival of their second son, making him a dad once again. The connection between Richard and Alejandra is a vivid example of how age is only a number when it comes to love. Like Cindy, Alejandra has been thankful for Richard's influence on her life. Their tale demonstrates that even after going through challenging relationships in the past, friendship and love may be found at any age. Therefore, Richard shows that family and love may lead to a fresh start. He demonstrated that pleasant surprises may occur at any point in life. His story demonstrates that love has the power to improve your life regardless of your age or life experiences. We appreciate your time and hope to see you at the next one.